Hello, Leo. Thank you so much for being here, you guys. All right, Leo, I think that your dreams may be causing problems for someone around you. So you have such a curious dream, grounding, returning to reality, and coming home, and then you have chaos and conflict. Now, such a curious dream, this talks about how you're coming out of la la land here and you're coming back down to reality, and it's time for you to get back to work, right? You can go back to that place in time, but it's time for you to face the reality of a situation for sure with chaos and conflict. But I also think that for a lot of you, there's something that you're still holding on to, an experience that you had that you may go back to in your mind and daydream about, but it may be causing problems for another person, like I said, with chaos and conflict, because you're talking about being at cross purposes with another person. Now, it could just be, though, that your own daydreams are causing conflict for you, and it's time for you to, again, come back to reality here and start getting to work. But for those of you who are dealing with another person here, this could very simply be that your dreams just don't match up with theirs anymore, and it may be causing some problems. But the thing is with chaos and conflict, we shouldn't be fighting about this anymore. We need to, try to figure out a solution here and move on. But my question then is, what is your daydream here, Leo? What is it that, you're focused on in terms of like wanting to experience again? Or why is it that you're in a place of not really wanting to deal with reality? Is it because you're surrounded with chaos and conflict? Could be the case. But what I found interesting was this. Now, sometimes, not chaos and conflict, but such a curious dream can say that, sometimes we're starting to see, like I said, the reality of a situation. It's like, hey, that wasn't what I thought it was, right? And being hit with a dose of reality. But I don't know. I feel like you're in a place where your dreams just aren't matching up with somebody else anymore. But anyway, the gibbous moon. You're very close to achieving your goal. Somebody else may think it's a daydream, but apparently you're pretty goddamn close to it. And that may be causing chaos and conflict as well. It says, I know that I am on the right track. And I think Gemini got the same thing. Not as far as the card, but as far as attuning to the moon. It says, now is a good time to review your plans. Keep the momentum going as you move towards your dreams. Stay focused. It's a good time to start a new project, and you need to get back into good health habits, which I think, that's true for everybody. And I love how they throw that shit in there with this one. It's like, I don't want to hear that, okay? But I found it interesting that you're being told to stay on track with what you are dreaming about, regardless of it causing chaos and conflict. Oh my God. And you are coming from the Two of Cups. I think that, first of all, with the Two of Cups, we're talking about the relationship, the connection that you have with another person. Could be romantic, doesn't have to be. But we're talking about two people that understand each other. Now, with the Empress being the overall here, first of all, we're talking about being able to enjoy the physical senses, right? So enjoying all of the abundance that's around you, being put in a position here, whether you're male or female, where you look really good. You have beautiful things going on in your life. You're able to indulge in that beauty. We're creating new ideas, bringing things to life, nurturing, caring, giving. Some of you, it could be about babies, especially with that Ace of Wands coming up. But I don't know. This may be a little bit different than that. But I think that for a lot of you, this is going to be where you are trying to go right now. Or this is going to be about someone that you may be dealing with, possibly with the Empress. But I look at this more so as, you needing to be in a place where you are comfortable and you are happy and you're able to enjoy your life. And you're able to bring your creative ideas to life. But when we're talking about the understanding of another person, that may be a little bit different here. But everything here is indicating that there are new beginnings for you. I don't necessarily feel like we're talking about third-party situations here, even though we got the Three of Cups. So with the Four of Swords as the past, here we're taking a break, contemplating things, possibly cutting off communication here, not really talking. But in terms of, the relationship or the connection that you may have with somebody, as far as where you're coming from, this could indicate that maybe we're kind of like taking a break or trying to make peace with the conflict. Okay. Moving into the Wheel of Fortune here, you're talking about fate turning in such a way where it's bringing something back around to you. And that's kind of what I feel like here with the Ace of Pentacles, but this is a very fortunate turn of events here. So if you're taking a break from something right now, if it's a relationship or if it's a business partnership, whatever that partnership is, it's going to bring around an opportunity that, with the Ace of Pentacles, first of all, realistic, can bring you continued growth. I like it because of the sustainability. I always say that with the Ace of Pentacles, but this is realistic this time. That's what I want to say. The Hangman, though, I think that you move into a position here where, let's say that you're in this spot of the Empress right now, because I'm looking at the Ten of Cups, and I think that for a lot of you, family is going to be important here. I think that if you're in this position already, you really need to consider your overall happiness and the happiness of the people that are surrounding you, especially in terms of relationship. And that may be what is holding you up, but I kind of get the feeling with the Hangman that there is some self-sacrifice going on here. Now, yeah, it could be that you're not really ready here to act on a new opportunity because it may affect what is going on in a family situation. But I think it's more so that you're going to see something differently. You shouldn't have to sacrifice happiness within the home in order for you to follow your dream, okay? And we need to try to make peace with the chaos and conflict that's going on. I look at the Three of Cups in terms of your hopes and fears as hoping that there is the support that you need. Now, the fear there, though, is I kind of get the feeling that emotionally you're not connecting with someone right now, and you may be focused on somebody else that you may be connecting with. And with that Ace of Wands, that could indicate the new beginning that's happening here, born out of passion, fire, and drive. But because of the creativity here, I think that for a lot of you, it is going to be about whether or not your dreams are being supported. And this is hoping that you're going to be able to celebrate, right, with people who are supporting your dreams and helping you realize these new starts, these new beginnings, especially if it's in terms of, your career or doing something on the creative end here. But I don't know, that Hangman feels like I'm sacrificing a part of myself. But, your overall happiness, though, is what we need to focus on. You have to be able to enjoy life. And you have to be able to bring to life the things that, are, oh yeah. And there is your conflict. And that's where I feel like, this like sacrificing a part of yourself is coming through, which is funny because I usually don't see that with the Hangman. But yeah, I feel like that this time. And it's holding up the show for you. So with the Nine of Pentacles and looking at the Empress, this could definitely have to do with your career and being able to gain some financial security. And being more independent, right? Now, for some of you, again, because of the relationship being there, we may be talking about taking a break from a partnership or a relationship and doing things on your own and becoming more independent. And once you do that, this opportunity comes back around. It looks really good. It's realistic. There's going to be potential for more growth, especially financially. But the problem is with the Seven of Swords, Leo, are you doing things on the down low, Now, it could be, though, that unfortunately, in order for you to take an opportunity for, more independence and financial stability, it's almost like I'm going to have to leave a situation here and I'm going to have to do it quietly. There's nothing else I can do. I just have to take my shit and go. So I don't necessarily feel like this is what's happening to you, but I think that this is the action that you may be considering like having to do. And it's not that you're looking to hurt anybody here, But the problem is if you're constantly facing this type of conflict, it would make sense that that is the consideration, you know? Now, for a lot of you, it could be that, you know, you're taking a break from a relationship here. You're becoming more independent. There's going to be a new opportunity. Maybe we're not really sure on how we want to proceed forward with this. But I don't feel like competition with the Five of Wands. I feel like no matter how many times you try to have a conversation with somebody, they just are not going to see things your way. They don't see, you know, your dreams the way that you do. And this could very well be like leaving a job here without giving a 2-week notice, and it may cause a little bit of problems, right? But the thing is there is a very real opportunity here for you to do something very different that's going to make you happy and make you feel good. And this may be about you starting your own business, and again, doing something on the creative end here for sure. Now, your passions may be driving you here, and they're on the other end of this because of the Three of Cups, or I kind of worry about that a little bit because it may be in an emotional affair, and that could be the case. But I think it's you doing it, not somebody doing it to you, right? And the fear would be getting caught with that Seven of Swords. But the thing is that there is a disconnect somewhere, either with, you know, your current business partnership or with a current relationship, whatever that relationship is. And I think that you are seriously considering, I need to take what I have left and just leave. But anytime the conversation is brought up about it, it makes you feel like you are sacrificing a part of yourself and you're not able to move forward. And I think that, you know, this is by far more important than anything else right now. Unfortunately, it's not like having a very clear ending on something, though. Not with that Seven of Swords being there. But are you going to let that kind of conflict between you and another person stop you from having, you know, this new beginning, right? Because it's realistic. And it is something that I think is coming back around for a lot of you with that Wheel of Fortune. This is a fortunate opportunity. But the circumstances surrounding it and what you're currently involved in may not be, you know, that easy to handle. But are you, like I said, are you going to sacrifice? The best thing to do in this situation is to speak your truth. If somebody is not willing to accept your truth, then there is nothing that you can do, but you cannot start the healing process until there is the truth spoken. Okay? So we need to start speaking the truth about what we need to do to create healing, not just for yourself, but for the situation as well. But what's more important here is your sense of self and your sense of identity and your sense of direction. If somebody cannot accept your truth, then you cannot depend on them to create this healing situation for you where you feel like you are headed in the right direction. And I really think that for a lot of you, there is going to be a consideration here on how much of you've been sacrificing for the happiness of another, possibly. And maybe it's time to consider doing what is necessary to be able to realize your own dreams. Wow. But yeah, with the solar plexus, we're talking about you. Where are you headed? Who are you? Do something for someone else. Give your attention to someone else. Now, here's kind of what I feel on this. If we're talking about a current relationship that you're in, whether you're taking a break or not. If you are expressing love to this person and you are not receiving it back, then it could be that it's time for you to focus on giving your attention to someone else, but that could be needing to give more attention to yourself. Okay? And I'm just being honest here because I really feel like with that Hangman, you have sacrificed enough. You should be able to enjoy your life and live out your dreams. And nothing and no one should be holding you back from this. If they love you, they will understand if we're talking about a relationship. But I think that in terms of doing something for someone else, it's doing something more so for you. Now, for some of you, yeah, right? It could be. It could be that we need to be willing to express love to someone who is going to give it back. Wow, Leo. Yeah. The thing is, though, is that the opportunity is still there for you, though I don't think that you're actually going to do anything about it. I think that there are just like the discussions going on about how this is going to work for you. But I also think that the Five of Wands could be pointing to the internal battle, though, as well, you know. So I think that the more important thing here is to make sure that you're looking at what is going to bring you the kind of overall happiness that you need. And even if you are like a provider here with the Empress, if you're not enjoying your life, then that's not really a happy situation, is it? You know? But I think that the healing needs to happen first so that you feel better about where you are headed in your life and who you are. But I really think that all of this is saying that you need to follow a dream. You know, even if it's something as simple as starting your own business or taking a different career path, you know. But Leo, the opportunity is still there for you, whether or not you act on this right now. So don't feel like you have to make any kind of rushed decision, especially if you don't like the course of action that you may have to take.